Hi, and welcome back. My name is Sandy, and I'd like to talk to you about making money like the rich. What's the difference between us and them? These three guys I talked about a little bit in the last video, and I'd like to go into them a little bit more. Bill Gates, Tom Hanks, and Warren Buffett. They're all very, very wealthy people. In fact, the poor one in the group is Tom Hanks. He's only worth $350 million. Warren Buffett, he's worth $70 billion. And Bill Gates tops it off. He's worth $86 billion. So what do these guys know about making money that we don't? Are they just multi-talented like Tom Hanks? They have a mind for investing. They're born with it like Warren Buffett. Or they're in the right place at the right time like Bill Gates when he started Microsoft back in the 1980s when computers were getting smaller and they needed software. Is that it? Are they just lucky, talented, or what is it? Do they have a different mindset than we have? I believe they think different than we do. Of course, they have talents, but they think different. One of my favorite movies is A League of Their Own that stars Tom Hanks. It's one of my favorite movies of his. If you've never seen it, it was set during World War II when all the guys were off at war. And they wanted to keep the baseball going, so they started a women's baseball league. Gina Davis stars as the star player and Tom Hanks is the coach. And there's two of my favorite quotes in that movie. One of them, "There's no crying in baseball." I'm sure that's true. I don't know. Never played it professionally, but sounds good to me. The other one, "It's supposed to be hard. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it." The scene here is when Gina Davis is getting ready to quit. Her husband came home from war. He was wounded, so she wanted to go home and take care of him. And then she was just tired of it. She thought it got too hard. So Tom Hanks goes up to her and says, "Why are you quitting?" She said, "It just got too hard." And he said, "It's supposed to be hard. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it." This is a quote from a friend of mine, and she says, "Do the hard things now and life will become easy. Do the easy things now and life will become hard." Isn't that true? If you do the hard things, life becomes easier. If you work, you save, life becomes easier. Do the easy things now and life becomes hard. If you just kick back, relax, you don't do too many things, and as you become older, life becomes harder. These guys did the hard things first, and now life is easier for them. They learned how to make residual income. Now, none of these guys have quit and given up. They have enough money, they could just stop. Tom Hanks is still doing movies. He's still highly involved. Warren Buffett is 85 years old, and he's still investing, still doing it. Bill Gates actually retired from Microsoft, but he's doing the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They work hard. That's what they do. But if they wanted to, they could just quit because they have this thing called residual income that they have made. It is a difficult transition from employee income into residual income, but if you can do it, the rewards are so sweet, and that's the reward, money. I know this man, and I love him to death. I don't know if you remember the song called My Little Runaway. It was a top 10 hit in 1961. There is an organ solo in it, and I know the man that did that. He is a fantastic keyboardist. He's nearly 80 years old, and he can play the keyboards like nobody's business. I've never heard anybody ever that played keyboards like he does. He actually made the instrument that he played that solo on. It's not an organ. It's a thing called a musitron. It was the first synthesized keyboard ever made. The Japanese went on to copy it, and that's where keyboard synthesizers came from. He still makes a residual income from that particular song to this day, from 1961 to now. He was considered the top keyboardist in the world at one time, even over Liberace, who was a great keyboardist, but he was the best. But what happened to him? the transition into residual income was too difficult for him. So he went back to becoming an employee. He actually got a job as a fireman, and he worked as a fireman. Nothing wrong with firemen, okay, but it's not residual income. It is employee income. So what exactly is residual income? It's income that you work for once, and then it pays you over and over again. You don't have to work all the time for it. It pays you over and over again. It pays your children and even your children's children. My friend, his kids and his grandkids are probably going to get residual income off of My Little Runaway because it's still played all over the world. And every time it's played, he gets some money from it. So he's going to get paid even though he quit. He did it one time back in 1961 and he still gets paid for it. And this is where the real money is. When you get into residual income, this is where the real money is. The stacks and stacks and stacks of dollars. So what's the difference between employee income and residual income? Employee income is trading time for money. That's what it is. You go to work, you work a certain amount of hours, and you get some money for it. The thing about it is it's very restrictive. There's only so much time in a day. You can only make so much money. And if you're not there, you don't make money. So what happens when you retire? You have to have these retirement schemes like Social Security and pensions and everything that everybody fights over. Because once you're not there anymore, it's gone. I heard this saying, you have residual bills. Why not have residual income? When you retire, do your bills stop? No, they don't. But you have to have a way to still pay your bills. Residual income is based on trading effort for money, not time. You have to put a lot of effort into it at first to make residual income. But once you learn the skill and the income starts coming in, it becomes less and less difficult. So it's kind of like priming a pump. I don't know, not too many of you remember, you're not old enough to remember the pumps, the water pumps, those old handheld crank water pumps. We didn't have that when I was a kid, but we had one that was on our property. And you could pump on it and pump on it and pump on it and pump on it. And nothing would come out. And you keep pumping and pumping. And finally, a little bit would start coming out. And then as you kept pumping and pumping and putting a lot of energy into it, it would start flowing. And you just had to put a little bit of energy into it to keep it going. And once you kept it going, water would keep coming out. And that's how residual income is. It takes a lot to get it started. You have to learn how to do it. But once you make it and you know how to do it, it's like having your own money printing machine. That's how good residual income can get. I'm not talking counterfeiting. I'm talking you can get the skill that when you need money, you can just print it yourself. It's amazing what you can do with residual income. Here's the problem, though. The problem is we're not trained in America to make residual income. We're trained as an employee. Our whole education is based on teaching our kids how to be employees. When you go to college, what is it? You're training for a career. That is an employee income. Now, that worked for a while when America was a powerhouse and we had all the jobs, but now with globalization, things like NAFTA and all these free trade agreements, the jobs are going away. There's not that many high-paying jobs. So we did the easy things, and now it's becoming hard because we don't know what to do. That's basically what's going on. There are few people out there that are trained on how to make residual income. If we knew how to do it, it would absolutely change our lives. Wouldn't you like to be able to print money whenever you needed to? Have you wanted something, you just go out and print it? So, do you want to know how to make residual income? Well, if you want to, go to 641-715-3900 and it's extension 972877. Takes about 20 minutes to get through it. Leave your name, your phone number, and best time to call at the end of the recording, and someone will be back with you within 24 hours. So if you're interested in learning how to become a super income maker, then you need to do this. Next time, I'm going to talk about how you make residual income.